Hello. We'll wait for a couple of people to get into the chat, into the stream. Hello, hello. Well, hello. This is kind of an impromptu stream, but I was hoping somebody could make it. Good day indeed. How are you guys all doing? I am doing quite well. New Year's is upon us. Hungover at work. Oh no. Hello. Yeah. So, trying to do monthly live streams. At kind of at the end of the month to recap the month. And then this one's special because I kind of want to recap the whole year of the YouTube channel and Forgotten Realms Explained in general. So I thought it would be fun. Hi, Mom, I'm on TV. Yes, you are. I don't need my hood on. That's silly. I keep looking over here because that's where my chat is. I should move my chat here. And then it kind of looks like I'm looking at the camera even when I'm not. You know how it is. So trying to figure out what to do for New Year's this evening, and I live in Idaho, and they're doing a potato drop where they have this like giant fake potato on a crane, and apparently they lower that at the 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 3, 2, 1. But it's going to be like 14 degrees outside, and so I'm not sure if I want to go yet. I might have a lead on another party to go to and stay indoors for New Year's, so we'll see that. Yeah, just watching Critical Role. That's awesome. I am behind on Critical Role. I think there's like 4 or 5 episodes that I need to catch up on, but I listen to it on podcast form, so yeah. But man, this is awesome. What's everybody excited for in 2019? I wrote a Patreon post, but I want to talk about it more here. Like, I'm really excited to hopefully do some more YouTube content. I've kind of always put YouTube on or YouTube has always been a hobby, and the channel has kind of been a hobby. And so it was always on the back burner doing other stuff for my life, like work, and I do a lot of theater because I really love theater, and just other things kind of took priority. But I think in 2019, I know I want to do this. In 2019, I want to take the channel and actually focus on making it better and doing more content and more diverse content. And so that doesn't necessarily mean less lore videos. Like, I want to continue doing lore videos, but I want to try and do more stuff, and probably stream some games that might go to the Saturday morning D&D channel or something else. So I don't know, we'll see. But like, there's all these RPGs I want to play, and I want to stream and try to do more interesting things for you guys on the YouTube and the internet in general. And because of my like hectic schedule, I got invited to be in a couple of games that I had to say no to because I just couldn't fit it into my schedule. So if I allow more free time, hopefully I can play in some more online games, which would be super fun. 2019 will be the year I get sleep. Why do you say that, Josh? And hello, Chaotic Magnet. Always good to see you. And Bored with Reality. It's me. Welcome. D Animations is just starting Critical Role. So you're on episode 13. Are you listening or watching season 1 or season 2 of Critical Role? Fallout Battles, love your stuff. Thank you so much. I love making it, and I was just working on a video this morning. I have Wednesday's video done. A surprise, or not surprise, but it is, what is it on? Now I don't remember. Because I was working on a video today, so I'm trying to remember what the other video is on. So we just did Cormier. So Wednesday's video should be on Sembia, which will be fun. And Renee, no, hopefully Felix will not knock over the green screen. So I was streaming on Twitch some video games. We were playing Gree. And towards the end of it, I was just kind of like chatting with people and doing a Q&A. And then my cat knocked over my green screen and the whole thing fell down. And the illusion was destroyed. It was terrible. There's a clip of it floating around on Twitch if you go to like my Twitch channel. But yeah. Bored with reality. I plan on releasing my first video in the next 3 days. That sounds awesome. Send me a link to it and I would like to watch it. That sounds great. I'm trying to remember how we do this. Renee, I think you can do kitty cat and doggy emotes. Have I done a video on the Dales? I did a video on the Dale lens in the DR calendar. So there's a video out there that's like that. So is this the only online platform, big expensive barrier to entry? Wait, is the online platform's big expensive barrier to entry to DM on? I have the physical books. I don't really want to rebuy them again, but I want to DM more games. I am intimidated by that too, because I don't want to buy the books twice. Like, I don't want to buy them on Roll20. I don't want to buy them again on D&D Beyond. But I don't think you necessarily need them. I know a lot, like Ted from Nerd Immersion. I think he does the physical books and he DMs over the internet with a webcam from the physical books. People roll real dice rather than doing that. So it's kind of how much do you want Roll20 involved, or how much do you want D&D involved in your game? Because you can totally run it just with a webcam like your friends, which is kind of what I want to do rather than buy all the stuff. But we'll see. If I run like an actual adventure and I want to use Roll20, it might be worth me buying the books again, but we'll see. So I don't know. Or Fantasy Grounds, yeah. So it's frustrating that we have to rebuy them, but at the same time, you're consuming the content in a different way, so I can kind of understand why they are doing that. In an ideal world, the books would be shrink wrapped and come with codes that unlock all that stuff on other platforms, but those platforms also have to make money, and so yeah, I don't know. It does help, says Kyle, that to help have a digital copy rather than a physical copy when you're doing online DMing, especially with Roll20. Like, I guess if you buy the Roll20 stuff, it has not only the story, but like magic items to hand out to the players, as well as monster tokens and things like that that you can use. So it can be really cool maps, which is really good. So yeah. Oh, you can hear Felix meowing in the background, or at least I can. No, I have not played Waterdeep D-Animations. I have not read it either, because one of my players in my Hot Springs Island game, he wants to run Waterdeep. So I've kind of left it as a mystery to me in hopes that I will be able to play in it at some point. I'm not sure what I will play. I really want to play a Spore Druid Tortle, but I think that would maybe not work as well in the city. Like, that's a good character for Tomb of Annihilation, not necessarily for Waterdeep. So I haven't pulled the winner for the giveaway, Henry Redcoat. I'm going to do that actually after this, because I woke up this morning, I'm like, I need to do that. I need to pull the winner. And I talked to Nate and Ben, and they were like, oh yeah, we pulled our winners, and we kind of let people know. So I'm going to pull the winner after this, and I'll let you guys know in a pinned comment on the video, as well as I'll email the winner and I'll release it on Facebook and Twitter, the name of the winner. So I love War of the Spider Queen, says Tony. Do you ever think about doing vids on individual characters? You know, I've had a lot of people ask me to do videos on individual characters, and those characters are so loved. So here's a little backstory. When I make a video, I research it but I don't know everything. And so I either most often I leave things out because I didn't think it was important enough, or just in general, I leave things out. And so then people almost get offended that I left stuff out. Like, well, because they think in their mind, like, well, when I think about a video like this, it should include this. Like, why didn't it include this? I feel like I will get that tenfold for doing a character video. Like, take Elminster. If I do a video on the history of Elminster, I'm going to leave something out because A, I have not read all the Elminster books, and B, I'm cutting it down to like a 6 to 8 minute video. And I think people can't understand that it's not all encompassing, nor that it should be. And so I've always been hesitant to do character videos. But I also love the War of the Spider Queen novel series, and it would be, and Gromph is one of my favorite characters in that series, or just in the Forgotten Realms storyline in general. So I don't know, like, it's something I'm toying around with. It's often requested. It would be really cool, but I also fear the backlash, and, but we'll see. Like, I want to read more Forgotten Realms novels, which I'm currently doing right now. And that's another plan for 2019, is to get caught up on not only like the lore of Forgotten Realms, but catch up on the novels that I didn't read when I was younger. So yeah. I hope that answers your question. So many lip smacked. Sorry. That's me. I have a bad habit of that. Any recommendations for writing adventures on DM's Guild? Yeah. Play test it. Keep it. Well, it kind of depends on what you want to do, but like the one shots work really well for the DM's Guild, I think. And, so if you're going to just start out, I would try to write a one shot. See, now I'm self-conscious about the lip smacks, and I'm really focusing on not doing them. But focus on a one shot, and I would say play test it a bunch, and have not only you run it, but have other people run it. And then, you can use art. There's art available on the DM's Guild, and then just learn how to lay out stuff. I did mine in Word, so it's completely doable to do it in Microsoft Word, but you can get really fancy with like Adobe InDesign and things like that. But the best way to learn is to dive in and do it. So have I done a video on the Netheril and the Anauroch Desert? I did 2 videos. I did a video called The History of Magic and then The Fall of the Netheril, which was about the Netheril a whole bunch. But I kind of want to make a Netheril-centric video, so when people search for the Netheril, they can find a video on the history of them. So that's I should actually write that down, but I don't have anything to write with at the moment, so I'm not going to do that. But I do have a notepad. Let's see, Felix wants in. Oh my gosh, I'm behind on chat. Lore in the different cults of the Forgotten Realms would be cool. I only know about the cult of the dragon. Various cults of the Forgotten Realms. You guys are helping me with video topics. I love it. Yeah. So, do you guys want to know some numbers? I want to look at the past year. So let me move this window here, and let me open OBS, and we're going to transition to, hang on, studio mode. Yeah. Woo, I'm in the corner. So last year I started the channel in February. We had, this is minutes. So we had 6 million minutes watched in 2017. I got over 1 million views in 2017. I got 42,000 likes, 285 dislikes, and 2,500 comments. And people shared my videos 2,298 times, which is really cool. I don't know how many subscribers I got. I can't remember, but we can do the math when I tell you about the subscribers from this year. So, and this is going to be awkward because I don't have the chat up when I have this window open. But this year, we had, and this doesn't count 2017, so this is just 2018. We had 15,643,741 minutes watched. That was the watch time. So grew pretty big. Now, some of it is the Saturday Morning D&D show, because we had the Saturday Morning D&D show tied with the YouTube channel. But for the most part, that's Forgotten Realms lore videos. Views, we had 2,825,596. So almost double from 2017, which, or more than double from 2017, which is really cool. Likes, we had 83,331. So again, double, which is cool. Dislikes, 886. I'm happy that I'm not getting a ton of dislikes, but it is a little disheartening that I had more than double of dislikes, but you can't make everybody happy. So that's kind of what it comes down to. The amount of comments that we had, 5,400 comments, which is more than double. So, and then shares are 8,550 shares. So the 2018 was an awesome year for the channel. Like, it more than doubled, which I thought was really cool. And I am hoping that in 2019 it will double again. And I want to take more time and focus on the channel to allow it to grow, like to nurture it and help it grow. And I think that'll be really cool. But I was just super stoked and surprised that it did so well. And it was fun looking back on 2018 and looking at the charts and graphs and stuff. I have a graph to show you. There we go. Zoom it in a little bit. So here's our watch time. So this is the whole year. And then average minutes, this is down a little bit, but I think it's because of this spike right here. So this is normal, normal, normal. This was the Matt Colville Saturday Morning D&D show. The Saturday Morning D&D show with Matt Colville when it was still on this channel. And then back kind of down to normal. That one peaked up our view duration a whole bunch, which is why my view duration is down. It was why it has that little red thing down, because this one peaked it at like 35, 40 minutes, and my videos are only 5 to 8 minutes long. So, in comparison to the rest of my videos, my views are down, or the view duration is down. But yeah, it was really kind of, I don't know. It was really cool. It was really fun. How many subscribers do you guys think I gained this year? We have gained and lost subscribers, because we lost quite a few too. But we gained 26,638 subscribers. 42, 1, 20K. You're close, D-Animations. So currently I'm at 38K. So if we go to calculator, 38,209 minus 26,638. So we had about 11,000 in 2017. And that's really cool. Now, subscribers lost. Some of these are closed accounts. Some of these are just people not wanting to be subscribed anymore, which is completely fine. But 2,872 subscribers lost. So for a total, because I do math really good, 638 minus 2872. So 2017 or 2018, we gained 23,766 subscribers total. I was really cool. Like, thank you, Peter. It was a great year. It was like a super fun year, and I had a great time making videos for you guys. It was super, super fun. I And yeah, so if we had like 10,000 subscribers in the first year of 2017, again, more than double we gained in 2018, which was really cool. Oh, cool. Yeah. Subbed and notifications. Yay. That's awesome. If you enjoy the notifications, it's funny on YouTube, like so many people are like, you know, click the bell icon and get notifications from when. I think it's better to have just a schedule. Like you guys know that I'll release, like 8 a.m. Mountain Time, which is my time zone, on Wednesdays. And that's when the video's released, because I think having that consistency is better than just like notifying randomly when you get a video, but maybe I'm wrong. Like I personally don't do the notifications. So, yes. Hello, Nicholas. Happy New Year to you. Most popular video. What was my most popular video in 2018? What do you guys think? I mean, not that you have all of my videos memorized. I'm pretty sure it was a 2017 video that was the that is still my most popular video. No, the Matt Colville one is not the most popular. Surprise, surprise. That was fun. Not the Netherese video. It's actually, it's by a small margin, but it is the Devils and the Nine Hells. In 2017, the graph went like this, and then November hit, and the algorithm took my Devils and the Nine Hells video and promoted it a whole bunch, and so it shot up. And that one has continued to stay really, really high since that 2017 November. And it accounts for 5.6% of all my watch minutes and 5.6% of all views on my channel are that one video. Which I think other channels might be higher, like One Hit Wonder channels might have 10 or 15% is this one video that went viral. So this one didn't necessarily go viral, but it is by, I mean, if you think of all the videos I've done 90, this Wednesday will be 97 videos of D&D lore. So 5% of that, like it's, yeah. But people like that, which makes me think I should make a sequel to the D&D or to the Devils and Nine Hells video and maybe do some updated mythology with that and see if that would do well. Not that I am super fishing for views, but yeah. So Tony loves the Drow Underdark videos. I had a lot of fun making those because I love the Drow Underdark. But I thought that was interesting. So apparently this is the video that I get the most subscribers based on. I think that's also because it's the most viewed one. But maybe that's the video to share with your friends to get them interested in the Forgotten Realms, or not Forgotten Realms, but D&D mythology, D&D lore in general. So who knows? Who knows? It was a really cool year. And anyway, I just kind of wanted to share those statistics with you because I don't think a lot of YouTubers do this, but I find it interesting, and I would think that the people that follow the channel would also find it interesting. So I hope you found it interesting. We can fade back here, and I can open chat again and talk to you guys for a little bit longer. So 1 out of 20, nice percent. Yeah, 5%. So if we roll a D20, a 20 would be Devils and the Nine Hells, possibly. So, even though I mispronounced something in that video, which I'm really embarrassed about, the Devils and the Nine Hells video, and one of the devils is no longer the lore was outdated from what I was reading, because I was reading like 3.5 stuff. But so, oh, you did find it interesting, BK Dan. Well, thank you. I critted it. Awesome. Yeah, it's been super fun. Maybe make videos about individual pre-made campaigns like Curse of Strahd or other things and the lore behind them. That's a great idea, Board with Reality. I was wondering how I could do a series of, so you're a player in Curse of Strahd, and then go through the Curse of Strahd. Like, this is kind of the background you need to know to be a player in this world. Or you're a dungeon master for Storm King's Thunder. Here's what you need to know to be a dungeon master, kind of like the lore background you need to know for that. And that could be helpful, I think, to people and kind of stick with the idea of the channel, which is helping people understand the mythology of Dungeons and Dragons. So Chaotic Magnet says, yes, do that. Yeah, that could be cool. Yeah, Mordenkainen's did change the Nine Hells a bit. Mordenkainen's changed a lot of stuff that I need to like go back and reevaluate the Blood War and some other things that got updated for 5th edition mythology. Like, I'm still upset that the Shadowvar are now elves. I'm not upset, but I made a video about the Shadowvar and people comment on it all the time saying, well, they're humans now, or they're elves now. They're not humans. And I'm like, they used to be humans. I swear they were humans. So maybe a longer format. I like that idea of doing, like, I kind of make I like to keep my videos at digestible bites of lore, but if you're a dungeon master and you want, like, you want, more information because you're actually planning on running Storm King's Thunder, maybe a 15 or 30-minute video, maybe something with my face. That would be a lot easier to edit than doing my traditional pictures. And I can interpose pictures, but maybe something of me talking like, so, hi, you decided to run Curse of Strahd. Well, let me tell you, it's going to be like this, Captain America style, where the Spider-Man movies where he's like, so you got detention. Yeah, it could work with Sir Lucian. I could see what he wants to do. What do I think about the new subclass they added for Cleric and Druid? I'm assuming you're talking about Ravnica, and I just got that book for Christmas, so I've been reading it. I like both of them. I think the Cleric one is really good, like, mechanically, and I think the Druid one is not good mechanically. But thematically, I love the Druid one. I love this idea of, like, death and decay as life, and, like, and repurposing new life from things that die. And so the whole purpose is not to necessarily save life, but allow it to, like, transition and decay and things like that. And I said earlier that I'd really like to play a Spore Druid Turtle. I think that would be really fun, and have, like, mushrooms growing off of my shell and raising zombies and just be, like, gross and awesome. So if Dice Camera Action ever lets me on their show, which they never will, but you should all, I want to be on that show so bad, or an Acquisitions Incorporated game. I would like to play a Spore Druid Turtle. That would be really fun. A Compost Druid, if you will. Yeah. So that's what I think about him. The Cleric one is just really powerful and, like, has a good, like, warlordy feel. Because I think, if I'm remembering correctly, you use your reaction to give other people an attack, which is kind of cool. So, a Sportle. Oh my god. And that would be his name. It would be Sportle. That's perfect, Julie. Thank you. Thank you so much. BK Dan says, I run in Forgotten Realms and found the series on the factions eye-opening and enlightening. That's great. I made those because I was running Adventure League I was playing in Adventure League, and they have they very much emphasize the factions and playing in the factions, playing as part of the Harper group and things like that. So that was kind of fun to understand the history behind those. So yeah, the Cleric got so much crowd control. It was, I assume that's what you mean by CC, but really cool stuff. If I had my book here, I'd flip through it, but I don't have it. So, anybody get anything really exciting for Christmas? I don't know if I think I posted this on my Instagram account and things like that, but my wife found a bunch of AD&D books. So I have these 1980s, 1970s AD&D books that now I need to obviously run AD&D, which is really cool. I got this really cool dice bag that is got like a map printed on it, and then I put my Total Party Thrill, my Kids on Bikes pin on it because I like that a lot. I met Total Party Thrill. They're a D&D podcast, and I met them at Gen Con, and they gave me that pin. And I got the Kids on Bikes pin from Lucian, which was really cool. So, how do you fit a niche character option into a homebrew campaign settings? Ryan, are you talking about something like... because we were just talking about this with Renee, actually, where it's like a Genasi or a Kenku into your world. Like, is that what you mean? Oh, like, how do I fit a Storm Genasi into my homebrew world? Yeah. I like to use... So we did that with my Warforged in the campaign that I'm running in a homebrew world, or the campaign that I'm playing in that's a homebrew world. And we had that a wizard made not only me, but 6 other Warforged. And so there's 7 total, and they're each named after the number. So my character's name is 7 because he was the 7th built. And we don't know where the other ones are. Some of them are probably destroyed. And that just gives the dungeon master like, oh, like I could bring these other characters in. Like, you basically just gave me NPCs to play with and to make them villains or supporting characters or something else. So the idea that there are 7 of these robots running around created by a wizard. A Genasi, like a Storm Genasi in your homebrew world, could be... especially if they're going with like a wild mage sorcerer or something, but it could be a magical accident. If you want to open it up to planes, they could come from different planes. They could come from a far off land. Like maybe you have another continent where people are infused with energy like that. It can be difficult though, because so let's say somebody really wants to play an Aarakocra and you're like, it just doesn't fit in my world and I don't want talking bird people in my world. So how do you handle that? Like, I guess you talk to your player and say, usually I talk to my players and say, what is it about the Aarakocra that makes you want to play one? Like, what is it about the Storm Genasi? I should use Genasi, but what about the Genasi is it that you want to play? Because they'll tell you, well, I really like that I get this free cantrip, or I really like that I get this, or maybe it's that they really like that they have resistance to fire damage, and say, well, we can work that into a human. Like maybe your father gifted you a ring of fire resistance, or maybe you're a very adept wizard and we give you, instead of taking a feat at first level, we give you a couple cantrips, or I think there is a feat that gives you cantrips. So yeah, I would talk to them and just kind of say, what is it you want? And then compromise to have both, because a lot of times they don't want to be a Genasi just because Genasis are cool. They think Genasis are cool because of X, Y, and Z. And if you can give them those things without necessarily being a Genasi, yeah. Or reflavor the race as some kind of like interesting human. So, going up. Chaotic Magnet got the DCC starter set and will run a 0 funnel on Wednesday. That's so cool. I'm excited for you, Chaotic Magnet. That's going to be really great. You got a Mordenkainen and Tome of Foes and a Paladin spell card pack. That's great. I did my last Saturday a Ravnica session. The Order Cleric was so much fun to watch, and he controlled the battlefield. That's great. You guys get some awesome stuff. Yeah, it was a D&D Christmas for me. It was the dice bag and AD&D stuff. I got a couple ornaments. I've got a sweater coming in the mail that's like a ugly Christmas sweater that's got like a beholder on it. It just didn't get here in time, but yeah, it was a fun Christmas. And I'm excited for New Year's tonight. I'm not excited for the cold, but I'm excited for New Year's. So, Mountain of the Mad Mage. I'm assuming Dungeon of the Mad Mage and New Dice going to run a session. I haven't read Dungeon of the Mad Mage either. I haven't read the 5th edition one, Dungeon of the Mad Mage, but I have read Halaster's Dungeon from earlier campaigns when I did a video on it, stuttering over my new things. A new dice bag that says fries or die. Sorry, as a dungeon. Yeah, no big deals, Joshua. It's all good. So fun. How many? We got 45 people here. This is crazy. You guys just watching me ramble. I kind of did what I wanted to do, which was go over the stats of this and talk about next year. So next year, I guess, what else do I want to do? I want to run Mothership, which is a horror sci-fi RPG that there is a podcast called Bored with Life Adventures, and I really enjoy this podcast. And it's DM'd by Donald Schultz, and he's just a really, first of all, an excellent dungeon master, and he produces really good content. I think they have an underrated show, underrated podcast, and you should definitely check it out. But they took a break from their main campaign to play Mothership with the creator of Mothership. So it was cool to see the creator running them through a game, and it just was really interesting and full of horror elements, and it sounded so much fun. Like I really wanted, so I immediately went out and at the time Mothership wasn't out in PDF format, but I tweeted at the owner or the creator, the writer, and he tweeted back saying that it would be back. We would be out like within 2 weeks or something. And then he tweeted me again, and he's like, "Here you go. It's right here, and you can get it." And so it's on Drive-Thru RPG, I think. So I have the PDF, and I really want to run it. So maybe once, because I'm in a play right now, maybe once the play opens, I can try and gather people. But yeah, I'm running a level 1 Dungeon Crawl Classics tomorrow, which is exciting. But also kind of spooky because I haven't ran Dungeon Crawl Classics since it's been probably 5 months. So, but that'll be super exciting to get that going, because I want to do a long running DCC campaign, but I don't think my friends are as interested in that, nor do I have the time. They like Dungeons and Dragons, so I got a shirt that says "Beware the Smiling DM." That's good. Oh, cool. It's always fun, Michael, when you get stuff from Kickstarters. Like I back things and then I forget about it. And it's just really cool when like books arrive in the mail and you're like, oh yeah. Strongholds and Followers was kind of like that. Like when we finally got that book, I'm like, oh, that's right. Like I was really excited for this, and now I can like read it and it's super exciting. So that's awesome. Hope we get next year some new campaign setting books like Ravnica or The Artificer finally released. Yeah. Music and stuff, I want more campaign settings. I wish that I have Ravnica and I'm enjoying it, but I kind of wish that the Eberron PDF came out as a book and the Ravnica came out as a PDF. But I think they swapped it because they knew Eberron would sell as a PDF really well, and they wanted Ravnica to get into the hands of more players, so they decided to make it a book. But I read a really interesting, not that I agree with this review, but I read a really interesting review where he's like, who asked for this book? And it made me think a lot about Ravnica, where I'm like, I don't think anybody particularly wanted D&D in their Magic the Gathering or Magic the Gathering in their D&D. So it is kind of like, why did they make that book? Other than but I mean, I think it's a great book. Like, I think if you want to run in Ravnica, it's got lots of interesting stuff going on. So yeah, I don't know. Like, I personally like the book. The reviewer I read did not enjoy the book. And he thought it was kind of a waste of time, but it was good to read his review because it got me thinking, like, who is this book for? Like, nobody really asked for it, but Wizards of the Coast wanted to almost experiment with making another campaign setting to hopefully bring back other ones, like beloved ones like Dark Sun, etc. Like, that would be cool. And Keith Baker at Gen Con was saying that, you know, the Eberron books are still there. Like, you don't need, now that the PDF's out, you don't necessarily, you have 5th edition stats for Warforged and Changelings, etc. You don't need more lore books. You know, you can go buy the 3rd and 4th edition lore books and read those, and the lore is still there to play in Eberron, which is a really good point. And which is why I think he was against publishing yet another book for 5th edition. But a PDF, he's like, if I can expand on cities or offer new and interesting lore or define things better, that's what he wants to release. So it kind of made sense. Renee says, how much money do we need to raise to get you to stream Baldur's Gate? Kind of half serious, kind of half joking. Not a lot, but you don't have to raise any money for me to stream that. I want to, I think the next game I'm going to stream is either I think it's going to be a short module of Neverwinter Nights, because I'm familiar with Neverwinter Nights and I know how it operates, and I want to go through a short module of that. And then after Neverwinter Nights, I will go to Baldur's Gate 2, or I will try to finish Planescape. But I want to stream more stuff on Twitch, some more D&D stuff like that, because that was fun playing Gree with you guys and having you there watching me and just being able to chat with people. So, yeah. Whoop, live stream, yeah. Yes, Renee, it is a running joke that you're asking me to play that game, because I know you love it so much. Joshua says he purchased Dragon on the Mount and can't wait to try it out in our West Marches campaign. It looks great. Thank you. I put a lot of work into that. It was really fun to see something come to fruition that you like work on. So I hope you enjoy it. I hope it runs well for you. And if you want, you can always shoot me an email at Jordan with a PH in the middle, JORPHDAN @gmail.com, or leave me a comment on a video and just kind of tell me how it went. That would be really cool, because I like getting feedback so I can not make drastic changes, but update things here and there. So, whoa, it jumped. I scrolled out a little bit and then it jumped. Yeah, I think we're kind of talking about Ravnica there, but I agree. I think it wasn't a story, and I think the reviewer that I was reading, he wanted another Storm King's Thunder. He wanted another story, and instead he got a campaign setting that he thought was useless. But I remember OSR people, Old School Renaissance people, loving that book because it was so open-ended, and he didn't like it because it was too open-ended. So it's kind of, you're just not being, yeah. Neverwinter Nights 2, gosh, I love Neverwinter Nights 1 is probably my favorite PC game, which kind of opened the doors to Forgotten Realms and Dungeons and Dragons in general. I was blown away by the lore and history, and then the complexity of that game with building characters and stuff. It was really cool. And then later to find out that I could do that on pen and paper and at the table was like, oh, this is awesome. So I don't know if I've ever told you guys this, but like, I didn't get into D&D until I was in my early 30s, late 20s. And I was in a play, and some guy was like, well, no, like if you like all this fantasy stuff, you should play D&D with us. And I'm like, let's give it a shot. And so we played AD&D, and I had a blast. And then I realized if I wanted to play consistently, I was going to have to be the dungeon master. So then we bought a whole bunch of 4th edition books. We started playing 4th edition for 9 months to a year. And then 5th edition came out, and we switched over to 5th edition and played that ever since. And it's been the same group of people and the same campaign for like 5 years now, 6 years, pushing 6 years. Like, it's really crazy. But Neverwinter Nights was that initial spark, and it's been fun. I've since, because they made Neverwinter Nights Enhanced Edition, so I've since gone back and I've played Neverwinter Nights with all of my Forgotten Realms knowledge now, and it is a much more enjoyable game when you know characters, locations, and gods than when you don't, and history. Like, there's books that talk about the Netheril Empire and things like that, and it's been a lot of fun to go back and play that. So I don't necessarily want to play through it again streaming, because I just finished playing through it again, which is why I want to do like one of the other modules that I haven't played and stream that. So that could be fun. But we won't stream games on this channel because I understand that people want lore videos. They don't want, this isn't a video game channel. So that'll all be on Twitch if you guys are interested on following me there. Yeah, Planescape Torment is super fun. It's, I need to finish that game. That one was really cool. The Minotaur race option they added to Ravnica is really good. I think that book, if you're like me, I'll probably use the book for races and classes, even though there's only 2, more than I'll use the guilds. But I like the renown system, and my players just fell into the Shadowfell, and I want them to go to the City of Midnight, which is called Gloomrot, and I want there to be some kind of factions there. So I might use the skeleton that is the guilds of Ravnica in the Shadowfell and see if they can get some renown. We'll give them magic items and benefits within the city and things like that. But I like that renown system. So I have to leave to play D&D. Well, go have fun playing D&D. Board with Reality. That sounds great. Neverwinter Nights solo game is better than 2, but its online Persistent World on Neverwinter Nights 2 is really shocking. Oh, I haven't tried the Persistent Worlds with Neverwinter Nights 2. I should check that out. That sounds really cool. Boy, I haven't played Persistent World, Neverwinter Nights, or MMOs, like, because I kind of consider it an MMO because I guess it's not massive, but it's online with people. I haven't played those since I started Dungeons and Dragons because it kind of filled that niche for me. Like, I wasn't interested in MMOs anymore because I could weekly play D&D. What is the campaign sitting with Sigil? That would be Planescape, which is where Planescape Torment, the video game, is set as well. So, yes, Michael, Divinity Original Sin. I bought that, but I haven't touched it. And then everyone told me that the sequel is way better than the first one. I don't know. What's your opinion on it? Is the sequel better than the first one? Because a lot of people were telling me to just start with the sequel rather than the original. So maybe I'll do that. I heard good things. I like Divinity, I've heard really good things about it. Those isometric RPGs, they're super fun. Yeah, it's been a 5-year campaign. Sorry, my players they just hit level 11. But within those 5 years, we play on an average of twice a month. And we took 9 months off to play in a Deadlands game. And we're actually going to take some time off now to play in a, we're going to play Betrayal Legacy. So we all like Betrayal at House on the Hill. That's one of our favorite board games, and they made a legacy version of the game. So we're going to take the next like 12 or 13 sessions and actually play Betrayal Legacy instead of D&D. So no D&D for a while. Well, in that game, there will be no D&D. There will still be Hot Springs Island D&D and various other games that I am playing in. So one is still worth playing. Okay, well then I'll have to try out one. But I heard really good things about 2. So, and then a patron was just telling me about the Mass Effect series, and I really want to play Mass Effect now because he was telling me about it, and he's building a whole campaign revolved around the world of Mass Effect, and he really likes that, like a space opera campaign, and I'm like, that sounds amazing. So my all-time favorite character was a cleric for Lathander in a party full of evil and neutral characters. It was so much fun. That sounds cool. That was you. Oh, that was you, Michael. Thank you. I didn't recognize you because you're not Sturgeon. Sorry. Thanks for hanging out. That's funny. Not a small world, but like, basically I'm an idiot and I'm blushing. So too funny. Well, ladies and gents, yeah, Renee, I forget that you are, you sponsored or whatever they call it here. I think it's sponsoring. So you have the little, 4-month member die next to your name. So, Sir Lucian is a big super fan of Jordan's. How can I cut my hair like yours? You need an excellent hairdresser, and I can send you some photos. Like, we can do like a 360 video maybe, and you can show that to your hairdresser, and then you too can have hair just like mine. Unfortunately, mine naturally has this like wave in it, but you'll have to use lots of product is really what happens, Lucian. So yeah, focus. Shannon Peterson, she loves Jordan's hair. Yes, Lucian, please do cosplay me as me for Gen Con. I think that would be excellent. So we could just be twins, and then we'll do I always think of Krusty the Clown and Homer Simpson when he's dressed as a clown, and Krusty puts their hands on their heads and then goes like, hup, 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 and they switch back and forth, and the Mafia's like, who's who? I don't know. We'll reenact that scene if you cosplay as me for Gen Con, which I'm excited for Gen Con. That's another thing is if I don't have plays that I'm in, if I'm not doing extra shows, if I don't have other commitments, that will free me up to do more cons. And hopefully I can go to PAX Prime or PAX, the Seattle PAX. I don't know what they call it nowadays, but I want to go to Seattle PAX. And I really want to go to PAX Unplugged next year. And I really want to go to Gen Con again. That would be really fun. So, yeah, Renee, I should definitely cosplay as each other. That would be fun. I could be Lucian. That would be fun. And we'll be at Gen Con, and we'll do, or maybe for April 1st, we should cosplay as each other and do the Saturday morning D&D show as each other. That could be cool. Lucian up there going, well, I'm running Hot Springs Island and it's really good. Well, I'm going to just talk about how good it is because that's all Jordan does. Blah. So that could be funny. Justin Kelly, I don't know if you're joking or not, but Gen Con is a big board game convention in Indianapolis. Big time fan, just noticed you live. What's your biggest change to the Forgotten Realms world if you could retcon one thing? If I could retcon one thing. You know, everybody would probably be like, get rid of the Spell Plague, but the Spell Plague didn't bother me that much. Like, I think it was not necessary, but it was fine. And I would probably get rid of the fact that Abir and Tyrell are two different worlds, because it doesn't really make any sense to me. And so maybe it would be that Tyrell is just one world and not this like sundered in two kind of, because Abir is just like floating around out there, but we never touch it. We never go back to it. It came back during the Spell Plague because that's where the Dragonborn came from. Its stuff was from parts of Abir showing up on Tyrell, but it just kind of like, it would have been more interesting if it would be more interesting if the Spell Plague Blue Fire mutated and changed people into Dragonborn. And that's where we got that race rather than it was always on Abir. But I guess they don't have a super cultural heritage if that happens. And the Dragonborn have like a backstory. So I don't know. Maybe I should make a video on that. Like if I could change the Forgotten Realms, what would I do? That could be a fun video. I never really thought about it. My last game had a nice trek through Sigil. We were on a trail of a very magically inclined monster who was collecting rare artifacts and traveling through different planes. Cool. I almost sent my players to Sigil, and then literally the day before, I was like, it's going to be the Shadowfell instead. And I sent them to the Shadowfell. Joshua, hopefully I can meet you at Gen Con this year. I've almost been for 6 years now. That's cool. Yeah, I went last year. And if you see me, just stop me and say hi, because that's what other people did. And it was really fun. So I love meeting people. I took selfies with everybody who recognized me, which was really funny at the Keith Baker Eberron talk, because the Total Party Thrill guys were there, and I'm big fans of them. And I like walked up and I was like, hey, it's really cool to meet you guys and blah, blah, blah. And they were like, that's awesome. And then this guy came up to us and they were expecting it to be like another fan of Total Party Thrill. And he like pulled me aside and he's like, you're Jordan, right? I'm like, I am. And so they had a look on their face. Where like, who is this guy that he has fans? Like, should we know who he is? We don't know who he is. And I'm like, you don't need to know who I am. That's fine. But this guy stopped me and we ended up taking a photo together and it was really fun. But yeah, he's like, no, you're Jordan with a silent PH. I was like, oh, you do know who I am. That's cool. Sir Lucian says, Shadowfell, Shadowfell, Shadowfell. Yeah, we have so much Shadowfell goodness to talk about. My players had a blast with their last game. So on the Saturday morning D&D show, Lucian will have lots to talk about with my campaign, because it ended perfectly due to dice rolls and not me like pushing things in a certain direction. Like the dice rolls just allowed the narrative to fall into place, and they are now in the Shadowfell, and I love it. I thought it was great. And I love it when stuff like that happens. So I was shocked to discover how much Waterdeep info was in Dragon Heist. I'd love to see more books with a heavy emphasis on local regions. That could be cool. And that's like one of the, not complaints I've heard, but something I've heard about Waterdeep Dragon Heist is that it's more of a setting book for Waterdeep than it is a story. But yeah. Felix and Oscar. Do you deep dive into any other universes other than the Forgotten Realms? I have done some Eberron videos, and I want to do some Dark Sun videos and other settings in the future. But right now I've just done Eberron, which are not popular. Like I'll release a Forgotten Realms video and it does okay, and then I release an Eberron video and it gets about half the normal views than a regular one. And I was like, well, I guess people aren't excited about Eberron as much as I am, because I'm really excited about Eberron. And I thought that those videos would be like people would be chomping at the bit for them, because there's not a lot of content out there on YouTube like that. But nope. And yeah, but it's a labor of love. Like I really love Eberron, and I want to make those videos to understand the lore of Eberron better. So I'll probably continue. Oh no, sorry, Justin Kelly. If you weren't joking, I wasn't trying to make you feel bad. It's just, if you're in the tabletop world, Gen Con is a very popular and knowledgeable thing. So, Renee would never let Helm die in 4th edition. Yeah, there's a couple of gods that probably, but they kind of retconned it and brought all the gods back. So I don't know. Oh, cool. You like the Spell Plague too, Dave. That's awesome. I also didn't think it was that catastrophic to the lore, but c'est la vie. Yeah, I don't know if they'll do a new campaign setting of a beer. That could be interesting if you could play on this other planet, but like it doesn't fit in, like a beer doesn't fit into the whole, here's the prime material plane, here are the planets. Like Spelljammer kind of discovers that there, or describes that there's planets and there's all this stuff. And you have a beer on like a parallel dimension. And so that doesn't fit into the planes, you know, where you have like, I guess is there another prime material plane then? Like, is a beer on a separate prime material plane, or is it on this prime material plane, but it's hidden in a pocket dimension? Like I think that's my problem with a beer, is that it's like stuck in nowhere, but it's supposed to be there. And it just doesn't, like the puzzle pieces just don't fit together. And so, yeah. Definitely need more fake corgis. That's a plus. Is your home campaign homebrew? And if not, would ever thought of creating your own world of or continent? My home campaign is set in the Forgotten Realms, but I kind of change it however I need to change it. So it's the Jorphdan Forgotten Realms, really. But it was just too, like I was researching the Forgotten Realms for the YouTube channel. It just kind of made so much sense to set it in the Forgotten Realms. But I have thought of creating a world and continent. I actually want to do a 0 level session with players and put out a bunch of tokens on a grid and say, let's move these around. Okay, let's draw a circle around it. All right, that's the continent. Now, and then point to a player and say, what's to the north? And they're going to be like, I don't know, giants. Okay, cool. So there's like giants to the north. Is the north cold? And they're like, yeah, sure, it's cold. All right, so we have like a frost giants that kind of live in this region, and then map it off and be like, frost giants live here. Are there dwarves in this world? And they're like, yeah, sure, there's dwarves. Where do the dwarves live? Well, the dwarves never come out of the ground. So they're actually scattered in 3 different pockets, but they live deep underground and they don't come up very often, if at all. Okay, cool. So now we have these like underdark dwarves. And I like the idea of building the world with your players, like the continent and everything, because at the end of that session, they're going to know the exact world that they're going to play in. And they're going to have a familiarity with that world that you don't get sitting down. Like my players don't know the Forgotten Realms, and so they sit down and they're just kind of like, it's whatever Jordan tells them. But if we build it together, then you get a more cohesive party and group. And I think that they are invested in that world and invested in that story right from the get-go. So that's something that I want to do. yeah, we had, I got to make more. Oh my gosh, it's going to be January tomorrow. I got to make more Forgotten Realms pins and mail them out to patrons. I've got so much stuff. Ah. Have you played Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms? I'm playing it right now. I have not played that. It's free to play though, right? So probably I should check it out. Yeah. If I understand right, every other time there was an edition change, the goddess of magic died for some reason and magic went haywire. But eventually someone took over except for the spell plague. Tyler, that's more or less it. That's exactly like the Time of Troubles. There was problem with the goddess of magic, and then there were problems, and like, yeah, so you're not wrong. I could call it a complaint. It's silly to tell players I'm going to run these adventures, go buy the books of spoilers. Eric, I think I understand what you're trying to say. Like, not that they should buy the adventure, but like if they're reading Forgotten Realms novels, they're kind of getting spoilers with the adventures that Wizards of the Coast is publishing. So, yeah, Eberron's nice, but you just prefer Forgotten Realms. I think you can enjoy both of them, but I think it was just a breath of fresh air to do Eberron videos, because I was, not that I was getting burnt out, but I was kind of like, I don't really know, like, what else can I talk about the Forgotten Realms? I kind of did the main history. Now I'm at a point where maybe I should go back and be like, here's what I got wrong now that I understand this better. But Eberron was like a breath of fresh air where I'm like, oh, I don't know anything about this. And so I was just kind of like plucking away, researching. It was really fun. Yeah, Lucian, we should play Microscope. That's a really cool, I listened to a podcast where they played Microscope on it, and it's cool for building worlds like that. So, who's your favorite Realms character? Probably Grumpf. Like, I really like him from the Arch Wizard of Menzoberranzan. He's such a badass. He's really cool. Eric says, sorry, what I mean is the Dragon Heist has the adventures in the setting, so if you want to run in Waterdeep, your players are encouraged to buy the modules, not just the setting. Okay. I could see, I guess I am. So are you upset that players are buying the Dragon Heist module? Or I guess that's what because I can't imagine a player doing that. Like, oh, I'm playing in Waterdeep, I have to buy the Waterdeep module. And it's like, well, no, that's the DM buys it and then he runs it for you. I think that's where I'm confused in your statement, but yeah. And with that, I'm probably going to try and answer Eric's question or talk about that a little bit more. And then maybe we'll wrap this up, because I like to keep these at like an hour, but I guess I could talk all day. It's kind of fun. See, there's that lip smack again. I just lost three viewers for doing that. So sorry. So sorry. Great. Ladies and gentlemen, that is our show. Thank you for coming out. Thanks for doing the end of the year stream. I hope you found it interesting. Well, not really upset. It just feels like it should be separate things. My players tend to like to own the setting books for themselves, especially if they're written in a world like, okay, that makes sense. And it is kind of it's kind of like a setting book in a way, but I would encourage your players not to buy that and to rely on their dungeon masters. So, yeah, have a good New Year's Eve, guys. Stay safe. Enjoy your party. Stay up till midnight. Consume whatever adult beverages you want, but be safe and have a good time. I'm really looking forward to 2019. I think it's going to be a good year of like super focusing on YouTube and content creation and making cool things. So thank you guys for hanging out with me. You're awesome. You're amazing. And I will see you guys next year. We'll do another one of these at the end of January. And maybe I'll have more news to tell you. That is a hope. So goodbye, everybody. Take care. And this is where I stop streaming right now.